my friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and in today's video I am bringing you another episode of my monthly series, Random Ranking. Now what I do for this series is I grab my trusty notebook that has all of my eyeshadow palettes written down inside of it, and then I grab my other phone. This has a random number generator app doohickey on it, and I just randomly choose 10 palettes out of my collection and I rank them for you. Now, if there's a palette that I have not used yet, then I don't include that. And I also mark each palette off as I do these episodes so that I don't continue to rank the same palettes for you over and over again. So this will come to an end, even though I could keep it going, because depending on what 10 palettes I randomly choose, I don't know, I'll think about that. But before I get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video, I want to comment briefly on the state of my hair today. I'm really working on, number one, not washing my hair every day, and number two, not doing my hair every day. There's a cat here, of course. Both cats are laying over here on the bed next to me today. They're both in here. Because I'm seeing that the more stuff I do to my hair sometimes, like flat iron or curl or whatever, it just breaks off. It's getting more brittle as I get older. And so I'm just trying to give it a break. Just let it air dry and just leave it alone. I know there's all kinds of heat protectant stuff and, and I do have it. But today it's just one of those days where I'm going all natural. I didn't do one damn thing to my hair other than wash it. And I put this really nice conditioning scalp mask on my hair. Oh, felt so good. And it smells really nice. It smells like hibiscus or hibiscus, however you want to say it. Okay, now that I've gotten through that part, let me get out my random ranking app thingy, hickey madooey, whatever, on my phone. And how many palettes do I have on this list? There's a couple palettes I haven't used yet that I just did not add to the list. So I think I have like 234. Okay, although I probably shouldn't. Anyway, we're just going to go with 234, all right? Because there's some on there that I haven't used yet, as I mentioned. Okay, let's go, right? Done. Generate. 132. Okay, let's see if I have ranked that yet and if I've used it yet. We'll see. I might need my glasses. Where are my glasses? Oh boy. Let's see how I do here without my glasses. 132, Morphe Such a Gem palette. Okay. Yes, that's a great one. Okay, second palette is 87. All right, I'm pretty sure I've used that. Let's see here. Glamlight Michaela 2. Okay, right on. I haven't used that a lot, but I've used it a couple times. Alrighty. 94. The IBY Enlighten palette. Enlighten. IBY Enlighten. Okay, so that's the third palette, right? Yeah. So the fourth palette is 86. Wow, okay. I've already ranked that one. Okay, that's the Michaela 1 palette. 187. Did I already do that one? Didn't I just, okay, hold on. Jeez. 187. No, that's the Sample Beauty Rain palette. I almost picked up a makeup brush. I'm like, I'll just mark it off with that. No, I won't. Okay, next one. This is the fifth palette. 231. I'm positive I have not used that. But, I may be wrong. So let's just look and see. Just look and see. 231. No, I have used it. The Wander Beauty Trailblazer palette. Okay. Yes. Sixth palette, 26. Okay, let's see what that one is. That is the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette. Oh, I love that palette. 7, the seventh palette, I mean. 154. Okay, give that a gander. See if I've ranked it, see if I've used it. I'm sure I've used it, I hope. I've already ranked that. That's the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. I've already ranked it. Okay. 45. I think what I'll do is get through all of them and then maybe do it again. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That is the ColourPop Aurora Struck palette. Oh, that is beautiful. I'm sorry I'm making my phone shake. The 8th palette is 113. That is the Ladybug Glow Castle of Horrors palette. Okay. The 9th palette, 40. Alrighty. That is the BH Cosmetics Passion in Paris palette, which I will be pulling into a Throwback Thursday here pretty soon. So that's cool. Okay, the last palette, let's see what it is. 51. All right. 51. That is the ColourPop Dream Street palette. My very first real eyeshadow palette. Okay, well, where is that? I just lost it. There we go. Jeez. Okay, so I'm going to go round up all those palettes, and I will rank them for you and tell you why I ranked them the way that I did. Bitsy's cleaning herself over there. I'll be right back. So I did go and round up those 10 palettes. I have put them in a little stack, and I have ranked them for you. It really didn't take me that long, honestly. I'm getting better at this ranking thing. I really am. And I think, too, depending on what palettes I pull together, it makes it more difficult just kind of depending on what palettes I choose, right? Okay, so I'm going to start off with the lowest ranked palette, palette number 10, and go all the way up the list to palette number 1, the palette that is in the top ranked spot. Okay, so starting off with the 10th palette, I chose the Enlightened palette from IBY Beauty. This is a lovely palette. It's just that the color story is got a lot of subtlety in it, you know, just kind of toned down, neutral, very light, kind of ethereal shades, but there are some beautiful pops of color in here. I've played with this palette twice, so this will be coming in a Throwback Thursday video for sure. But I will say that I am very impressed with the IBY formula of both the mattes and the shimmers, and they have really pretty satin formula too. Really nice. Was really impressed with it. It's just color story wise, and the fact that there isn't a lot of like boom pow in here, that's why it's ranked number 10. That's it, because it's a nice palette. Number 9 belongs to the Sample Beauty The Rain palette. Now this is really pretty, and the shades in here work really well. But I was a little disappointed when I first got this and opened it up, because on the website it looked to me like olives and burgundies, and I thought, ooh, that's such a cool color story. And then I get it and it's more like terracottas, oranges, rusts. So that's a little disappointing, but I've used it and it works really well. The Sample Beauty shimmer formula is just lovely, lovely, and the mattes are really nice too. But in terms of color stories for this go around and stuff, and I was a little disappointed in the color story. I was, but I do like it. That's why it's 9th. Okay, the 8th palette belongs to the Wander Beauty Trailblazer palette, and Charlie, Peanut Butter Beauty, she sent this to me. And I've only used it the one time. I did pull this into a Throwback Thursday, and I really liked how my look turned out and was very impressed with this shimmer shade right here called Lindsay E. Apparently all the shade names in here belong to the women that own Wander Beauty or are part of Wander Beauty, I think is what I was told. If I'm wrong about that, please feel free to correct me in the comment section, of course. But I really like the mattes. Yeah, I had a really fun experience with this palette. I wasn't sure what to expect because I tried a single from Wander Beauty before, but not like a whole eyeshadow palette. But yeah, I thought it was awesome. Awesome. So I do like the palette. I do think it's a lovely color story, and I was really impressed with how it performed, but in terms of the other color stories, okay, I don't need to say that every single freaking time. Number 7 belongs to Dream Street palette from ColourPop. This was not easy for me to rank in the 7th spot. I could have put it number 1, but I had to be honest with myself about my palettes for this episode, okay? Now, this was the first real eyeshadow palette I was given by my daughter. And this is the palette that sparked my whole foray into falling in love and being obsessed with makeup. There's a hair floating around. I don't know why. I don't know why. People have asked me that. I don't know why. But I have had so much fun with this palette. I am in love with this palette. It's really old, but I'm going to keep this forever and ever. This will never be thrown away. I mean, even if it starts sprouting mold and growing trees out of it, I'm still going to hold on to it, okay? I'll just disinfect the crap out of it and put it back in my drawer, or put it in a glass case or a hazmat suit. I don't know, but I'm going to keep it forever. I have panned several of the shades in here. Isn't that cool? I haven't done that in a really long time. Really long time. This might be the last palette I panned, maybe. But this is just so special. And you know, it's funny because when I first got it, I didn't use this shade or this shade at all. I was just sticking to the more neutral shades, or that shade really. Sticking obviously to the more neutral shades in here. But then I got, you know, a little bit wild and crazy and used the teals or greens or whatever you want to call them. And they're gorgeous. gorgeous. It doesn't work as well, I don't think, as it used to. I don't care. Number 6 belongs to the Michaela 2 palette from Glamlight, and my palette broke. It had these like goldy, sparkly things that you could shake, and the back part of this fell off, and all the gold shimmery stuff fell out all over the floor. And the cats both like, what's that? Is that for me? No, it's not for you. So I had to vacuum it up quickly. This is a gorgeous color story. I love the greens and purples and blues in here. And there are some neutral options in here too, sure. I want to pull this into either a Throwback Thursday or a multiple looks video, or maybe both together. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Michaela's. I'm not. But I do like this palette, and I love Glamlight. Love it. So yeah, this color story is just really fun for me. It really is. And I need to play more with this for sure. The palette in the 5th spot is the BH Cosmetics Passion in Paris palette. Now, I've used this palette one time. So to be ranked in the 5th spot, I think it says a lot about this palette. It's gorgeous. I really love the look that I put together for the video that I filmed using this. Did like a get ready with me, talking about a bunch of stuff like I do often. But I was really impressed. This was sitting on the shelf at TJ Maxx. I grabbed it and I love it. And this will be coming either in a Throwback Thursday or multiple looks, probably a Throwback Thursday. But this would be fun to do a multiple looks video with too, because you've got like the really pretty woo colors, purple, blues, greens, like maroons. And then you got some lighter, softer colors too to help with blending and things like that. So I think it's a very well-rounded palette, and it's a lovely formulation. Number 4 belongs to the mother of all gigantic palettes. This is the Morphe Such a Gem palette. Now, I think it was Angela Bright use this on her channel, and it was like right when I was first getting into makeup, and it was before I started my channel. And I was like, oh God, that's huge. It's got all the purples and pink. So I got it. It was on a really good sale. And at first, when I first got it and opened it, I'm like, I'm going to use all those shades? No way. Why did I get this palette? But I'm really happy that I have it in my collection because of all the awesome options you have in here. And I know I've mentioned this before, but this row here, they're called silk toppers, I think they're called, or silk shadows. They're meant to be like topper shimmers over the mattes, and actually they work really well by themselves. And it's been quite some time since I've used this palette. This will be coming in a multiple looks video in 2030 when I finally get through all the palettes I want to use for multiple looks videos. I don't even know if I'll have, will I have a channel in 2030? Who knows, maybe. But yeah, this is really fun to play with. Love all the different options you have in here. Some of them I think are a little redundant and maybe a little unnecessary, but, and I also know that people don't love Morphe. I don't love Morphe either, but I do really like this palette a lot. Okay, I'm gonna sit this here and just hope that, no, I'm not actually. I'm just gonna put it on the ground here, because this is all gonna come crashing down. Number 3 belongs to the ColourPop Aurora Struck palette. Now, this wasn't necessarily easy for me to rank in the 3rd spot because I love it. I mean, it could have been higher than that. I just love it. I was so impressed with this palette because I've mentioned a few other times too that ColourPop sometimes with their palettes, you don't always know what you're going to get in terms of their quality. You know, I think they just crank out so many palettes, release after release after release, that sometimes I'm like, dude, really? Slow down and maybe just make the quality a little bit better, right? Quit duping yourselves and just make the quality really good. And this palette, the quality is really good. I did a 3 looks video with this. I'm thinking about doing another 3 looks video with it. Shocker, but really impressed. And I love the fact that you've got the deep tones, the mid-range tones, and then the light tones. And that's what I did. I did like a dark smoky look, and then like a blue-green, and then a really light kind of pastel look. And it's fun for me to have palettes like that in my collection because you can just do lots of stuff with it. I like that. Okay, what am I gonna do here? This is like, hold on. Okay, so I avoided a huge catastrophe by moving things away from right here because I had like the smaller palettes on the bottom and it was just getting a little crazy. So number 2 belongs to the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette. And I thought about maybe putting this in the number 1 spot, but I'm sure you guys don't know what's in the number 1 spot. Shocking. But this palette is truly exceptional. It really is. It's so beautiful. The color story is awesome. I know that some people don't love the fact that there's neutrals in here, but I'm fine with that. I really like that because I think when there's a day that I want to go more neutral but have a really nice pop, then this palette will do that for me. And if there's days I don't want to do neutrals, I just want to go all in with color, you have that here. Blues, purples, golds, very decadent, very opulent color story. And I have not been disappointed with the performance or the quality of this palette, not one time. The Dark Fantasy palette, out of here. I gave it to my daughter and she loves it. I don't get it. I don't get that. How can one person hate a palette and hate the formulation and another person absolutely love it? Isn't that funny? I mean, it's cool. It's great. That way everyone can have stuff. But I was like, when the next time I see her, I'm going to pick her brain and find out what she's doing differently that she loves it so much, because I hated that palette. Anyway, we're not talking about that palette. This is gorgeous. I love it. I can't wait to use it again. This will be coming probably in a Throwback Thursday, or say it with me, a multiple looks video. Now, number one belongs to my favorite brand of all time, Ladybug Glow, the Castle of Horror palette that Ladybug Glow did in collaboration with Blairdale MUA. And I love the packaging, but look at how absolutely stunning this color story is. It's only 9 pans, right? So you might think, well, why would you choose an only 9 pan palette as your number one palette? Like, wouldn't you want more options? No, because there is so much duochrome, multi-chrome beauty in this palette that it's almost like having 40 shades in an eyeshadow palette, right? It's really cool, really, really cool. And I love the tones in here. I do remember though, when I first got this palette, I was like, oh, that's really dark and deep, and I don't really think I can blend things out. And I have not had that experience playing with this palette. The shimmers in here are so buttery and sticky and just, oh, love. And I love the tones of the shimmers, and the mattes are just spectacular, blendable and pigmented, and just knock your socks off, okay? My socks are gone. Well, they're still on my feet right now, but they will be gone soon. This will always have a very, very special place in my heart, and I'm gonna continue to do my 2 looks videos with my Ladybug Glow palettes, and this might be the next one I pull in. I don't know, it's always hard for me to, and I fret and freak out, and then finally calm down and just pick one. But yeah, those are how I ranked the palettes, the 10 palettes that I randomly chose for this episode. Let me know what you think of how I rank things. Let me know if you have any of these palettes and what you think of them. And then, of course, my next episode of Random Ranking will be coming at you next month. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, please take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.